Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday morning session of Oregon's virtual Grand Assembly. As you know, I am Anna Higgins, Grand Charity, and it is my honor to kick off this session. First, a virtual meeting tip again. Please follow the protocol for identifying yourself. Girls should only have their first name, state abbreviated, and their assembly number. For example, I am Anna with an OR and a 15. And you can, to change your name, just click the three dots on your video and choose rename. If you are using a phone or a tablet, you may need to click the three dots in the upper right part of the screen to find rename. It is my honor this morning to introduce Sister Becca Mobley, Grand Worthy Advisor in Oregon International Order of the Rainbow for Girls. You will join me in giving her a cool cat welcome.
Sister Grand Drill Leader, you will proclaim Oregon's 2020 Virtual Grand Assembly session from refreshment to labor.
By order of the Grand Worthy Advisor, I proclaim Oregon's 2020 Virtual Grand Assembly session from refreshment to labor.
Good morning and welcome back to our Virtual Grand Assembly. I would like to take this time to dedicate this Virtual Grand Assembly session to a woman that is always there to support me. She never leaves my corner, and I know she is ready to fight for me if ever necessary. She has taught me so much about what it truly means to be a rainbow girl and live a life of service. She can make me laugh when I am crying, or when we are supposed to be quiet behind the curtain during grand installations. I would be a total mess without her to keep me in line. For all of these reasons, and so many more that I cannot even begin to express, I dedicate this 2020 Virtual Grand Assembly to Mrs. Janet Loveland, one of the funniest, most hardworking, crafty, and caring people I know. Thank you for all you have done for me and will continue to do for me, the Grand Officers, and all of Oregon Rainbow. I love you so much. It is my incredible honor to introduce Mrs. Melissa Metz, Supreme Deputy in Oregon, International Order of the Rainbow for Girls. When life gives you lemons, sell them and buy a pineapple.
Thank you, Becca.
Thank you for being with us this morning. It is my honor and with all my love to introduce Mrs. Marjorie Wilson, past Supreme Worthy Advisor, member of the House of Gold, and past Supreme Inspector in Oregon International Order of the Rainbow for Girls, and past Grand Matron of the Grand Chapter of Oregon Order of the Eastern Star. Life is one grand, sweet song, so start the music. Ronald Reagan. Mrs. Wilson, we would love to hear your remarks at this time.
Mrs. Wilson, I have unmuted you, so if you want to go ahead and speak, you're able to now.
It is my honor and privilege to introduce Mrs. Joni Jacka, Supreme Worthy Advisor, International Order of the Rainbow for Girls. Life is like a cactus, prickly but beautiful. Mrs. Jacka, would you please share your remarks with us at this time?
Thank you, ladies. It's wonderful to be with you this morning. I was a little confused about where I was supposed to be today. I have Oregon, a meeting with Washington, Florida, and Massachusetts Grand Assemblies to attend this weekend. But I am so excited to be with Oregon Grand Assembly. You were actually on my travel schedule this summer before the pandemic changed our plans for everything we do and how we do it. It's exciting to me that our Rainbow Girls are continuing to find creative and innovative ways to stay engaged, to provide some service within their communities, and to educate our adults with some new technology. While I know it's more challenging these days to recruit members, I do hope you are finding some creative ways to share the value of Rainbow with your friends. As our country continues to open up, I hope you will be able to safely visit with your friends and to share with them the exciting times you have had over the past 4 months. With other Rainbow Girls around the world. Supreme Assembly 2020 is just around the corner. As you know, this too will be a virtual event. However, because it will be virtual, many new experiences will be available to each of us. No matter how near or far you are from Reno, you can join us from the comfort of your own home. Sorry. Our acting Supreme officers, all 80 of them, have been working together to present some new and exciting girls mixer time, some fun games, and some learning opportunities. Each of them have had an opportunity to share the importance of the office they represent, as well as something interesting about their jurisdiction. I hope each of you will register, buy your Supreme Session t-shirt, and be part of these exciting meetings. I'll be visiting, as I noted earlier, several Grand Assemblies this weekend, and I'm delighted to be able to be here with each of you.
Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your words of wisdom, Mrs. Jacka. Mrs. Wilson, we would love to hear your remarks at this time. As we are having some technical difficulties, I would like to introduce Mrs. Dana Regier, Supreme Deputy in California, International Order of the Rainbow for Girls. In life, you could be an apple, but be a pineapple. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mrs. Regier.
Thank you, Becca.
I would like to throw in really quickly that I have gotten the honor to work with Mrs. Regier on the Supreme Training and Development team, and she is an absolute hoot to work with. We've got spirit. Yes, we do. We've got spirit. How about you? Now it's time to show those spirit boards.
flood into my life and help me go for something more. Now I stand up for myself. Now I stand out from the crowd. Now I'm standing on high heels. If that could see me down. Fire to take you higher. We'll light you up like a live fire. Celebrate you, to elevate you. When you start upset, we'll take our helping hand. If you hit the dust, let me raise you up. When you bubble bust, let me raise you up. If you flare up, let me raise you up. I knew you had it in you. I knew what you could do. You believed in me. Let me be right for you. You're something needs to die. Now we're walking on it.
At this time, it is my honor to introduce our visiting Grand Worthy Advisors and Grand Representatives to Oregon. Sister Isabella, Grand Worthy Advisor in California. Sister Elise, Grand Worthy Advisor in Georgia. Sister Savannah, Grand Worthy Advisor in Nevada. Sister Victoria, Grand Worthy Advisor in Washington, Idaho. Sister Camille Dawn, Grand Worthy Advisor in the Philippines. Taylor, Grand Representative to Oregon and Nevada, and Grand White Shrine of Jerusalem flag bearer in Virginia. And Ella, Grand Representative to Oregon and Washington, Idaho. Behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. Author unknown. Grand Worthy Advisor Isabella, do you have greetings from the Golden State?
I do. Thank you, Becca. Hello, everybody. My name is Isabella, and I am the Grand Worthy Advisor in California. And today I would like to say thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. And we, the West Coast Grand Worthy Advisors, we have decided to do a demonstration, which I know we'll get to. But I wanted to let everybody know that California sends so much rainbow love and hugs. And we hope to see you all soon, maybe in person. And I'm very excited that with technology, we do have this opportunity. I'm traveling to Oregon and I'm in my office. That's pretty cool. So thank you again, Becca. You and the rest of your hedgehogs have done an amazing job this year.
Thank you so much for being with us, Sister Isabella. Grand Worthy Advisor Victoria and Grand Representative to Oregon Ella, do you have greetings from the Evergreen and the Gem States?
We do. Thank you, Grand Worthy Advisor Becca. On behalf of Washington, Idaho, I would just like to say thank you so much for inviting us here today. I know that it's probably not what you imagined your Grand Assembly would look like, but it is such a fantastic time. I've loved getting to work with you, Becca, this year as Grand Worthy Advisors. I've seen you at Grand Assembly in Oregon quite a few times, but I didn't really know who you were until this year. And we have a lot more in common than I had known. As many of you can tell, we both have 50s themes this year, and I know we absolutely both love the 50s. But I chose a little different theme. I chose more of a road trip theme. And one of my favorite road trips during the year was always going to Oregon Grand Assembly. And actually one of my first ever road trips as a Rainbow Girl was going to Oregon Guar when I was only a month into Rainbow. So that's always a treasured memory for me. And even though we're not packing up our cars this weekend and we're not triple checking our gas tanks and not a 5-hour-long drive, it's still fun to get to be here and see all of you. And it's been just a fantastic time. I've loved making my little keychain, and I can't wait to get to see everyone and what they paint for their rocks. I know the rest of Grand Assembly is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see what you have in store for all of us. But to Becca, thank you so much for being amazing this year. To the head togs, you have done amazing. I know this isn't what you expected, but all of your smiling faces are just, it's fantastic to see this weekend. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to Ella Peterson, our Grand Representative of Oregon.
Good morning, everyone. So, wow, it's weird seeing myself on the full screen. So Washington, Idaho Rainbow and Oregon Rainbow have always had a special bond, and I'm so honored to have been able to continue to nurture that bond during this year. And one of the special quirks between our jurisdiction is the use of the nickname snob. And the first time I ever heard this nickname or term of endearment has a funny backstory I'd like to share with all of you today. So a couple years ago, I was visiting Oregon for a guar a couple years back, right? And after a long car ride, an interesting stop at a wool factory museum. Yeah, the history of wool is far more extensive than you would think. We arrived at the Masonic Lodge, excited to meet our Oregon sisters. During this guar, I remember the Supreme Deputy thanking us for coming during her response, in which she referred to us as snobs. Never having heard this nickname before, my reaction was something like, "Did she really just say what I thought she did? No, there's no way. Wait, but I swear she did. Are we actually snobby in Washington and Idaho?" But that aside, we proceeded to have an amazing time at the guar and had a fun sleepover. Over breakfast the next morning, I had fun bonding with the Oregon Grand Officers. I remember one of the girls saying, "I hope we haven't burned any bridges by calling you snobs." We all laughed and took it lightheartedly. Later that day, I actually found out from a social media post that SNOB stands for Sisters North of the Border. And since then, I have treasured that nickname and seen it as not only a term of an endearment, but one that portrays a goofy and sisterly relationship between Oregon and Washington, Idaho. So yeah, on behalf of the beautifully bodacious bovines of Washington, Idaho, I would love to invite you all to move over to our celebration of Rainbow on July 10th to 12th. Keep an eye out for more information. It's going to be virtual. Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Metz, Grand Worthy Advisor Rebecca, and my counterpart Malia. It is my honor to be a snob to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Victoria and Sister Ella. Oregon Rainbow, let's share our appreciation for those heartfelt greetings. We will now have a welcome to our visitors from other jurisdictions given by Malia, Grand Representative to Washington, Idaho, and Nevada, and Savannah, Grand Representative to California and Massachusetts.
We're so excited to have with us our sister jurisdictions. Welcome and thank you so much for being a part of our Grand Assembly this weekend.
The uniqueness of our virtual format allows us to interact with our visiting West Coast squaws in a fun and new way. We will now do an activity led by Isabella, Victoria, and Savannah. Take it away, ladies.
Thank you. Okay. Trying to find Victoria on my screen so I can kind of see her. There we go. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Isabella.
I'm looking for Savannah. I think we'll just get started. So we are your West Coast Grammarly advisors. And today we have kindness rocks. We're going to teach you how to make, well, paint. I'm sure everybody knows how to paint a rock, but we're going to demonstrate how to make a little milkshake in honor of your little 50s theme. Hope you can see it over here. But Victoria and I were talking about how you can do something like that or anything else 50s, but even like little kindness notes. I wrote "be kind" on there. Victoria, do you want to get us started?
I would love to. So it's easier if you already have your rock painted white, but if you don't, no stress, it's okay. And then having your paints close by, I wanted to do a mint milkshake, so I have green with me. But if you just want to get started, I think it's easiest to start with the biggest part. So you want your main color that you want your milkshake to be. and just paint the little cup part. You can choose whatever shape you want. You know, milkshakes come in so many different types of cups. It's fantastic.
Victoria, I have to say, this is now making me want a milkshake, but I think we'll have to push through for right now.
I know. I love me some milkshakes. Have them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right? I'm making a strawberry one this time.
What's your favorite flavor of milkshake, Isabella?
I think strawberry. If you have a favorite kind of milkshake, comment it in the chat, and we'd like to see it.
All right, so I got mine. I don't know if you can see, I got mine going here. I have a fancy glass.
Ooh. I see we have a chocolate banana. That's kind of cool.
That sounds yummy. Coffee milkshakes. Wow, that'd be perfect for the morning.
Definitely chocolate, vanilla. Oh, there's a lot of different ones going on. Love it. Peanut butter chocolate.
There are so many possibilities to milkshakes. There's no end in sight.
Right, and there's probably ones we haven't even thought of, which is like the best part about it.
True. So for the next part, you can paint on your whipped cream. If your rock is already white, you don't have to do that. Mine's already on there.
That was a good idea. I painted my background blue just to give it a little pop of color. And then if you do need to paint it white, what I did was added a little extra white. So it made it look a little more fluffy. Oops,
very
And of course, you got the cherry on top.
Oh yes, can't have a milkshake without a cherry.
I saw that Mrs. Regier said extra whipped cream. That I'm okay with that.
My grand hope doesn't really like milkshakes, so she opts for a cup of whipped cream when we get milkshakes.
A whole cup of whipped cream? I think that might be the way to go.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it called at Starbucks? A puppuccino, right?
Yeah,
it's just like
puppuccinos.
I love it. Comment what color you're painting your rock if you're painting right now. I'd like to see. And if you can, hold it up, maybe. Oh, I see one. Oh, super cool. Just for you, Mrs. Regier, I will add a lot of whipped cream to mine. Oh, and I was going to mention another idea if somebody wanted to do this in the future. You could even do a little record. I looked up some 50s clip art, and there are a lot of really good, like, cute ideas. I wanted to do the jukebox. I thought that might get a little too difficult for a little interpretation of one, but in the future, if you wanted to try that out, I think that would be really fun.
I think that would be super cool. All right, well, there's mine. I put some little lines on my milkshake glass.
Okay, you're definitely better at making a cup than I am, but hey, this is a milkshake.
It looks fantastic. Milkshakes come in all cups.
See, we got milkshakes, we got little kindness rocks if you want to.
Yes.
Like that with my little bee kind. And then you can place them around your communities or even in your front yards. But yeah, just have fun with it and make a little sweet note on there, get creative and just have fun.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure if you seal them to be in an air ventilated area.
Yes, yes. The sealant will make sure they stay preserved, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you, Becca. I hope you all had fun. And if you want to put your rocks in the screen so we can see them. Oh, that one's cute. That one looks like a real milkshake, Ella. I love it.
What?
I love it. Mm-hmm.
Wow, those are all fantastic. I love them.
Oh, super cool.
Wow, thank you so much for letting us do an activity with you ladies today.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning and leading us through this fun-filled activity. You are a perfect example of why hashtag IORG rocks. Don't you agree, Oregon Rainbow? At this time, we would like to call on Mrs. Wilson to bring her remarks.
Unforgettable. That's what you are. Unforgettable. Though near or far.
It seems that we are having some technical difficulties getting in touch with Mrs. Wilson, so we will have to try again to hear her remarks at our 3:30 session. Each year at Grand Assembly, we are blessed with the music and excitement of our Grand Choir. They cheer on the Grand Officers during drills, support girls winning ritual awards, getting scholarships, or anything in between. They energize our Grand Assembly with their wonderful songs. We always love all that Grand Choir adds to the Grand Assembly experience. And just because things are virtual, that will not stop us from getting some of that trademark Grand Choir love and energy. We will now have a selection from our Electrify and Encore Grand Choir.
As Grand Page to the Grand Choir, I'm honored to introduce your 2020 Electrifying Encore Grand Choir, who will now provide us with a musical video sure to brighten your day.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky will you look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
Thank you to the electrifying encore for giving us this beautiful reminder that we will always have our rainbow family. Let's take a few seconds to show our spirit. If you have a spirit board, I want to see you wave it in the air like you just don't care.
It's just a jump to the left. Put your hands on your hips.
Did you know it is illegal for stores in Providence, Rhode Island to sell a toothbrush and toothpaste to the same customer on a Sunday? Here to teach us more about our sister jurisdictions is Anna, who will bring us news from her correspondence jurisdictions, Louisiana, Rhode Island, and the Philippines.
Rainbow Survival Vlog, Day 4. To those of you who may have found this recording, beware. I found this weird portal a few days ago, June 28th, 2019. There was a bunch of us. We were so excited to start our journey when suddenly, flash! And then it was there. But then Chloe decided to push me into the portal. I landed here on this mysterious island. I don't know where I am, but I need to get back to Oregon. Survival Vlog, Day 52. It's been 52 days since I arrived on this mysterious island. Recently found out it was the Philippines. This very nice group of young ladies who wore absolutely gorgeous white dresses found me. The first girl to find me, her name was Eureka. She told me she was representative to Oregon. This year, they said that their great theme was shining through service and that they would be more than welcome to help me get back to Oregon when I told them I was lost. I sail away tomorrow on this absolutely gorgeous boat that they made for me. See you soon.
Survival log, day 167. I'm late. It's for a very important date.
I lost my care. Okay, somehow One can sail right past the West Coast, all the way around the country, and end up on the East Coast. And this is how I ended up in Rhode Island. Luckily, this lovely girl named Alyssa found me and decided she would be so kind enough to bring me to her magical world of Rainbow. Little did I know, when we arrived at a rabbit hole, that I was going to be entering a very, very strange world with tall flowers and giant mushrooms. And we just went through door
After door, after door, after door, so many doors.
Then she introduced me to Holly, the grand-worthy advisor. She reminded me a lot of Becca because she kept telling me that we keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things. So hopefully I will truly see you soon this time, Oregon. Survival vlog day 235. I made it back to Oregon. I'm so happy right now. I can hear the musicals. The hills are alive with the sound of... Hold up. This isn't Oregon. Where's the rain? Oh, look! A puppy! Ugh, Toto, I don't think we're in Oregon anymore. We really went far over the rainbow this time. Look, there's Haley. Wait, that means we're in Louisiana. But we left Louisiana weeks ago. Oh, we made a wrong turn at Albuquerque. I did it. I made it back. Mrs. Metz, Becca, Mrs. Loveland, I did it! Mrs. Metz, Mrs. Loveland, Becca! Dang it! I knew I was late. They're gonna be so angry with me. I had so much to tell them. This is what happens when you throw people into portals, Chloe. Well, I guess this is my last survival vlog. Day 366. Dang it. 1 day late. Well, this is Anna Higgins, Grand Charity, the one who got to travel to Louisiana, Rhode Island, and the Philippines to travel all the way back to Oregon. One last time. Signing off. Rainbow Survival.
Thank you, Anna, for all your hard work corresponding with your representative jurisdictions and sharing with us more about what is happening in Louisiana, Rhode Island, and the Philippines this year. We will now have the scholarship presentations given by Mrs. Karen Murphy, member of the Scholarship Committee.
Thank you, Grand-Worthy Advisor Becca. Supreme Deputy Mrs. Metz, honored members, sisters, brothers, and Rainbow Girls of Oregon. I'm Karen Murphy, and I have served for 4 years on our Scholarship Committee. Over my time on the committee, the scholarship process has become better aligned with other Masonic youth organizations and supports continuing applicants as well as high school graduates. We were pleased to receive 4 applications this year, 3 of which were continuing applicants, and 1 was a high school graduate this spring. I would like to, at this time, share my screen, if that is all right.
You should be able to share your screen now.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome.
Before we announce our recipients, I would once again like to thank all those who support Oregon Rainbow, in particular our adult sponsoring bodies, the Order of Amaranth and the Grand Chapter of the Eastern Star. In an in-person Grand Assembly, I would ask members of these 2 adult organizations to stand in order for them to be recognized. At this time, I would like to invite our girls to join me in thanking these adults with a silent applause, which in the deaf community, applause is demonstrated by fluttering your hands briefly in the air on either side of your face. Thank you so much. As part of the application process, each applicant was asked to submit a brief essay to describe what Rainbow means to them, the qualities they've learned in Rainbow that make them deserving of the scholarship, and how these qualities prepare them for their future plans. These essays, in conjunction with letters of recommendation from teachers, community members, and the girls' mother advisors, help us get to know the applicants better. These girls are so deserving, and I would like to share some of their statements with you. One candidate advocates for girls with special needs and mental health struggles. As a foster youth, she is empathetic to others who may be hurting or in need of support. She empowers those around her to speak up for themselves and to seek the supports that best fit their needs. I have seen her reach out to girls who are feeling overwhelmed or stressed. She is a guiding light to girls of all ages. Another candidate described how her leadership experiences in Rainbow transferred to her college experience. She writes, I joined Rainbow in my first year of college when I was starting to get more involved in leadership on campus as well. Rainbow helped me to find my confidence as a leader and gave me more insight and skills to lead a variety of ages, which helped me relate to the incoming students and successfully guide them into their first year at WOU. Another candidate who was described by her mother advisor as the epitome of a Rainbow girl wrote, I strive to dedicate my life to one of service. In all aspects of my life, I try to live into the vows I made during my own initiation and the obligation that I rededicate myself to at every initiation I attend. Our final candidate wrote of the support that she received from her Rainbow sisters during her difficult recovery from a car accident. I didn't get to go back to school for almost 2 months, she writes, and I never thought that I could catch up. Everyone in Rainbow gave me their love and support through it all, and it meant so much. I will never be able to thank Oregon Rainbow enough for helping me get through this time. If we were together, I would invite each girl to come to the East to receive the award as I announce her name. We do have certificates that we will send in the mail to acknowledge this honor for you. At this time, I'd like to announce the Grand Assembly Scholarship Awards. Samantha Hawkins is a member of MISPA number 9. She currently attends Linfield College in McMinnville, Oregon, where she's majoring in biochemistry and molecular biology. She hopes someday to work for the Center for Disease Control, and Samantha receives a $1,000 Grand Assembly Scholarship. Rebecca Mobley is a member of Mount Scott number 15. She attends Western Oregon University in Monmouth, Oregon. Her field of study is early elementary education, and she hopes to be an elementary teacher with a focus in math and special education. And Becca receives a $3,000 Grand Assembly Scholarship. Chloe Whitty is a member of Mount Scott number 15. She attends Western Oregon University in Monmouth, Oregon, where she also studies early childhood and elementary education with a minor in special education. And Chloe receives a $2,000 Grand Assembly Scholarship. Kylie Wallace is a member of Harmony number 97. A recent graduate of Sprague High School, Kylie hopes to attend Western Oregon University or Chemeketa Community College to study physical therapy. And Kylie receives a $2,000 Grand Assembly Scholarship. Congratulations to these recipients of Grand Assembly Scholarships. And at this time, we would like to award some specialized scholarships. The Nachev Family Scholarship is a generous donation by Chris Nachev Maneker in recognition of her parents Steve P. and Rona E. Nachev. It is awarded based on participation and merit at both the local level and at Grand Assembly. This candidate has overcome adversity and has served twice as worthy advisor of her assembly, in addition to several leadership positions. Her mother advisor states that her experience in Rainbow, her dedication to service and assembly growth, and her drive to improve herself and those around her make her an excellent candidate for a scholarship from Oregon Rainbow. She has held several grand offices and currently serves as Grand Immortality. The Nachev Family Scholarship in the amount of $1,500 is awarded to Kylie Wallace. The Verna Gray Scholarship is awarded on participation by the girls in their own assemblies, visiting and participating in Grand Assembly. This year, we are awarding a Verna Gray Scholarship in the amount of $500 to Chloe Whitty. The Hazel Graham Memorial Scholarship is given in recognition to outstanding service to Rainbow in Oregon, as well as to the communities in which we live. The Hazel Graham Scholarship in the amount of $750 goes to Rebecca Mobley. The Ethna Higby Memorial Scholarship is given for study or achievement in music or the performing arts. This applicant has served as past grand musician and has received recognition for her longtime participation in band, including the prestigious John Philip Sousa Award. The Ethna Higby Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $1,500 goes to Samantha Hawkins. Ladies, please recognize these wonderful sisters of yours. They have made us adults all so very proud of their accomplishments. Girls, you will receive a letter in the mail explaining what your responsibility is with regard to the financial distribution before classes begin in the fall. Be sure you get the necessary information to our state treasurer, Lori Rhodes, and her address is listed in the letter. I apologize, we are having some construction in my home. Congratulations to each of all of you. You are most deserving. And once again, it has been a pleasure to serve our Oregon Rainbow and each of you on this very important committee. Thank you, Grand Worthy Advisor Becca, and thank you, Mrs. Metz. On behalf of the Grand Assembly Scholarship Committee, Mrs. Marianne Scott, Chair, myself, Karen Murphy, and Pam Wilcock.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Murphy. Please express Oregon Rainbow's appreciation to the other members of the Scholarship Committee, Mrs. Marianne Scott and Mrs. Pam Wilcock, for their work in reviewing the applications. At this time, we would love to hear from Sister Kylie to give us a response on behalf of the Scholarship Award recipients.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Kylie Wallace. I have been in Rainbow for 7 years and have held various offices ranging from confidential observer in my local assembly all the way up to grand immortality. On behalf of all girls given the opportunity to apply, we thank the Scholarship Committee for graciously awarding each recipient and helping us to achieve our future goals. Thank you. I would also like to give a thanks to all who were involved to make this scholarship possible. It truly means a lot to be given the opportunity myself. After being in a traumatic car accident, resulting in surgery and a lot of physical therapy, I chose my field of study to be exercise science with a concentration in physical therapy. My physical therapist helped me through one of the hardest times in my life, gaining my strength back, finding motivation, and helping me get back to doing the activities that I love the most. I want to help people every day, and I know that this will give me the opportunity to do exactly that. Again, thank you to everyone who made these scholarships possible, all girls who applied, each recipient, and the committee. Respectfully submitted, Kylie Wallace, Grand Immortality, and Grand Representative to Georgia, Bolivia, and Vermont.
Thank you so much, Kylie, and congratulations to all of our scholarship recipients. We will now enjoy an activity with our State Mother Advisor and State Rainbow Dad.
Good morning, ladies. Mr. Reese and I wanted to talk to you about something that's very dear to our hearts, because as we've gotten older, we have learned that photos are memories. These are the memories that we treasure through life and that we lean on during hard times. They remind us of the fun things that we've done, the good friends that we've had, and the special occasions or milestones. As I've been looking at my photos this last couple of months while being in COVID consolidation, one of the things that I have found is that I have a lot of photos that are not so great. They still have memories. They still bring back the thoughts of good times. But I hope that in the future, you'll be able to look back on your photos with a little bit more enthusiasm at the quality and care that you've taken with them. Mr. Reese and I are going to show you some do's and don'ts to make your future memories the best that they can possibly be. There are three main things that you can do to make a photo amazing. Light, background, and subject. And that goes for every kind of photo that you can think of, whether it's a portrait, a group of people, a candid snapshot, or a selfie. The goal is to end up with something that you can look at in your scrapbook in 20, 30, even 50 years. Lighting is the hardest one to control. And sometimes when the sun is out and it's shining too bright, as you can see in this first picture, they really need their sunglasses. They can't see, they're squinting their eyes. But when you move into the shadow a little bit of a shade, sometimes it's too dark and you can't see their faces. The best way is to move partially into the shadow and then use something to reflect or add light to your photo. It can be everything from a white poster board to a sun visor that's used in a car window, or even the lid of a plastic Rubbermaid tote. All these things are going to reflect light. In Oregon, we have a lot of clouds, and those are really great at reflecting light as well. So sometimes a cloudy day is a better opportunity to take a photo. We don't have any trouble finding them here. The distance in an indoor photo can affect the light as well. And the further away the subject is, the darker it looks, and sometimes the blurrier the photo can be. Background is the next thing that's important. Okay, Mr. Reese, next slide. If you look at the background of a photo, in the background of a photo of rainbow years, we look at a lot of photos that are taken in the East. And how many times has someone been leaning over, picking up their belongings, or in the middle of a conversation in the background? When you're taking a selfie, pay attention to what's behind you. In the first picture, you can see that I had a garbage can, some wood pile. It's not the best photo. In the second one, I found a nice water fountain, some pretty flowers, and it ends up being a lot better photo. So take a moment to look at your background, and sometimes, next slide, sometimes you have to give up the quality of the background because it tells a story. In this case, Mrs. Rhodes was sitting at the corn booth doing some paperwork. And yes, there's garbage cans in the background, but that's part of the story because we use a lot of recycling cans for produce at our corn booth. So we wanted to make sure that that was represented in the background. But pretty flowers are always the best if possible. Next slide. Subjects are important as well. Who you're taking a photo of. Is it something or someone that you want to remember? I found with digital photos that it's easy to get sidetracked and take a ton of photos. When I was a Rainbow Girl, I got to have one roll of film. Yes, we had film back then, and for each event. So I had to pick and choose what I wanted to take a photo of. And when I would get those film photos done, I was really regretful that some of them were not the best ones or that I missed out on a chance. So enjoy the fact that you can take lots of photos, go through them, delete them, and make sure that your techniques are the best. When the mamarazzi is out there, that's what I like to call us, the mamarazzi. They get to take hundreds of photos at Grand Assembly. When I was a Rainbow Girl, we had a professional photographer, and the mamarazzi was not allowed to take any pictures except for after sessions. Now they can take as many photos as they like. And we, the mamarazzi, love to see you girls. We love to see your smiling faces. And we love to crowd in around behind the altar to take as many pictures as we can. Mr. Reese is going to talk to you about some of the fun things that we can do when you're taking a picture, but mostly have fun with them, treasure them, and when you look back on them later, remember the great times. Mr. Reese?
Thanks, Mrs. Thompson. So I just have a few more tips, and actually those, the fun things, actually, I didn't even get a chance to get in here. So, but I'll mention a few things at the end that you can do. But just a few more things you might consider is when you're taking photos, take them from an appropriate distance so that you're not capturing a whole bunch of extra stuff in the background. So the one on the left here is too far away, and so we got kind of weird stuff in the background. So just physically get up closer. If there's enough light, which in most cases there are, don't use the flash, because the flash kind of washes out the picture and it gives humans demon eyes and frightens small animals. So you don't want that. Digital zoom is generally to be avoided because your camera on your phone doesn't have an actual zoom lens unless you have a really super fancy new camera, like an iPhone 11 Pro or something like that. So get up close if you want to zoom in. This is your one opportunity at Grand Assembly to take out your phones. So if you want to do that, and if you have an iPhone, go to your camera, and you can kind of see here on the left how to access your settings and how you could change those. There's lots of different settings on there. And for most cases, just the standard kind of auto settings will work fine, but there's lots of things that you can do to change the color and just the background. You can blur out the background if you want. One thing that you probably want to do if you're taking a selfie is there's something called a selfie mirror. And if you change that and like you have words in the background, then the words will appear the correct way. Android phones are similar. So if you have an Android, you can see how you would access those settings there. If you're taking a portrait, like Wilbur here on the right, his photo was taken using portrait mode, and that zooms really close in and it's a much clearer picture, and both Android and iPhones have that ability. So I encourage you to play around with your phones and use that. The one other thing that I want to mention, and we haven't used it as an assembly, but I would encourage you to consider is either setting up a Dropbox account for your assembly or a specific email account for your assembly so that girls and adults can email photos or upload photos to those resources. And you can use it as a scrapbook throughout the year. And then everybody can access those photos and share them. So those are just some tips and some ideas that we came up with, and we hope that you put your photo skills to good use in capturing and sharing memories.
Thank you so much, Mr. Reese and Mrs. Thompson, for those amazing new photography tips. I can't wait to try them out. I just got word from our web masters that Mrs. Wilson's audio should be working, and I would like to invite her to give her remarks at this time. Or maybe not. We will have to try again at our 3:30 session. Just a reminder to the ladies of Oregon Rainbow that we have a training seminar at 1 p.m. called What is Your Why? Knowing your why is an important first step in figuring out how to achieve the goals that excite you and create a life you enjoy. Only when you know your why will you find the courage to take the risks needed to get ahead, stay motivated when things don't go your way, and move your life onto an entirely new, more challenging, and more rewarding trajectory. In this session, youth will explore their why and how it connects to providing service to their community. Also, please note that our 3:30 session has shifted into a webinar format. We will still be live streaming, but only to our YouTube account. so don't forget to tune in. Sister Grand Drill Leader, you will proclaim Oregon's 2020 Virtual Grand Assembly session from labor to refreshment to reconvene promptly at 3:30 p.m., Friday, June 26th, 2020.
By order of the Grant-worthy Advisor, I proclaim Oregon's 2020 Virtual Grand Assembly session from labor to refreshment to reconvene promptly at 3 p.m. Friday, June 25th, 2020.